Welcome back, everybody. If you did not check out part 1, make sure you go back and check it out. But this is part 2 of Mark Baughman's top 3 keys to staying burn-proof.
Yeah.
First one was amazing. Amazing. I had an absolute blast with that. So that was very cool and very near and dear to me. So I'm very excited to jump into the second one. So
Awesome.
Take it away, brother.
So number 2, be yourself. The number one thing
okay.
I think in business that people forget is they turn into whoever anybody else wants them to be, instead of being who they are.
Yeah.
And anybody in business, anybody that is good in business, is going to see right through that.
Gotcha. Okay. So because I always say like I was and so this is so again I feel like everything you're talking about like was and two like we're both like you started officially like 2009 through that craziness.
Yep.
And then I started officially 2008 through that. But two, it's just kind of like, especially in both our industries, they're very old industries.
Yep.
And they're still stuck in very old ways, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
sure.
like you come in and you're trained to be, nothing wrong with the 60s or 70s, but you're
Sure.
like coming into that, like you got to be the closer, man.
Yep.
You got to close. If you can't close, then no, coffees for close or whatever. So like. Yeah, man, it was like the first 3-4 years, man. I would say I was like the industry drone. Like
Yeah.
I was a robot. I was just a robot. It wasn't like, you're talking about like early on in your career,
Sure.
like a lot of the opportunities that come to you are like, family, friends, just people that they know that you're a good person and they trust you anyway.
Yep.
They knew you before
Of course,
you got
yeah,
into real
yeah.
estate. So like, okay, he's been trustworthy long before he got into real estate. So like, let's chat.
Sure.
But it's like, what it took me forever to figure out is like, when you're coming for a business meeting, they want to come talk to Mark or they
Yes.
want to come talk to James. So like that's what I kept losing so much business, but it was just because it's like they talk to me, the
Yep.
human being, and they come to a meeting, and then now I'm James the robot. I'm like,
Yep.
let's talk about your balance sheet. Let's talk about your net worth. Like
Yeah.
just kind of like. James, you've never said that word you've never talked about net worth ever since I've known you. So like, is there certain things that you see when people kind of are getting trapped in that? Is it like, I mean, you could tie it to pretty much anything. Is it a lot
Sure.
of like trying, like right now a big thing, and it's been a big thing probably is like, like social media, like be an entrepreneur, bajillionaire, whatever. Like, so what are some factors that you feel blind people or make them feel like they can't be themselves?
I think it's exactly what you just said. The pressures of social media and people on there. I mean, look at it. I mean, everybody's using filters to make themselves look better. They're doing, they're posting pictures of them standing next to a jet that they don't own because they want to act like they have money. I mean, it's all those things.
Yeah.
And it's almost giving yourself a false sense of security that you can be this person.
Right.
Well, guess what? I'm never going to have a private jet. I don't think you're probably going to have a private jet. Maybe. Who knows?
But too, it's not going to be like it will be a result of the success,
Sure.
not a thing that makes me like defines my
Of course.
success. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
no, of
it's
course.
like, dude, if we ever get there, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
be
cool
real
with
happy.
that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like it's because you and I have to fly somewhere.
Of course.
At any moment,
Yeah.
and not because we need a sweet selfie.
Exactly, and that's it. And that's it. So, when you're doing that, you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
And people don't want to see that. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, when you sit down with somebody for the first time, if you're trying to act like somebody you're not, they're going to realize that right away. Because you're not off the cuff. You're not talking to them the way you normally talk.
Right.
It's like a more predefined script.
It's so unnatural.
Exactly.
So unnatural.
It's like when you call, a customer service center, and you can just tell they're reading off the script.
Yeah.
And it's like no matter what you say, they're not deviating from that script.
Like,
and it's
what would you, the human, say? Like,
exactly.
what would you...
Yeah, exactly. And I get it. At some point, you
Yeah.
have to do that because you're with a big company or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that human feeling in our business, you
Yep.
have to have that.
Correct.
And we always say it. My business partner, I say it all the time. You're never going to see us come in a suit. That's just not who we are.
Yep.
We don't show up to your house in a listing appointment in a suit.
Yep.
That's just not us.
Yep.
We're showing up in jeans or khakis, button-down polo,
Yep.
whatever it may be,
Yep.
because that's who we are.
Yep.
If you don't like us the way we are, then we're not going to be a good fit
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's no, and that like with the suit stuff, like how for me, again, that was like it is mandatory. Like it's mandatory.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be in suits and all that. It was never like I wasn't trying to like like be a renegade or anything. It was just I kept like you and I we're not fee based. You know what I mean? So like it's not like an accountant or an attorney. It's not that it's better, worse, whatever. But it's like we can't just show up to a meeting and then know that okay, it's X amount of dollars, whatever. So like for me, I was like I'm like I got 24 hours. Like I want to hack. I'm like I try to be like Captain Time Hack. Erica makes fun of me because she's like, you're trying to hack time so much that you lose time. Like
oh yeah,
But the like for me it was just kind of like okay if I'm not whether it's I was doing the dry cleaning and I was like well maybe it'll be quicker if I iron it and all that. But ultimately it's like okay if let's just say it's an hour a week that I save not wearing the suit and just throwing out again jeans, polo, khaki, whatever. Again not. Dude, I'll run meetings in a cat shirt. Like I'll be honest. Like, dude, I love my cat shirt. Erica gets me cat shirts all the time. So, but just again, if talking about this is me. I'm serious. I'm professional. But at my core, I just want people to be happy, and I just want people to have a good time. I'm trying to make I'm trying to make the experience as enjoyable as possible. But I looked at it from the standpoint of if I save an hour a week. That's 52 hours a year. So basically, I just gained 2 hours on the competition. Like, why? How am I gonna? And it's not even so much now like focusing on the competition, but it's more of like you're talking about like, how am I gonna get better? How am I gonna get better? Like, if you're just so focused on you getting better, the competition will just kind of fall away. But like, just like those things, I feel like. But then, so that happened. Again, I'm like try to be business, like how could I cut time and so da da da. But then people start saying like, dude, I feel so much more comfortable when you're not in a suit.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, well maybe it's just them. And then like the next week like, thank God you're not in that suit, man. Like it always made me nervous. I'm like, so this whole time for basically 4 or 5 years of my career, I'm wondering why people like, I'm like, I used to be very approachable, and then for 5 years nobody like people like just flock, they flee from you, and it's just again, certain people are looking for that suit and tie person. Sure. But I think back too, it's like even now I'm not looking for that suit and like that's not who I'm looking for to do business with. So but like. And I'm like I made this all about me, and I apologize.
No, dude, I'm like that's the same thing.
But it's just like that's where again it's like we're not trying to be unprofessional. I mean I feel like you can still be yourself and be professional. Because again it's not what you're wearing. It's like what are you following through on? What is your what actions are you actually taking? Are you getting the job done? Are you getting the results? Stuff. So sorry. So like so I'm gonna throw this back at you, being yourself. So like even like take me through that. To that journey of like, you pass your test, right? And you're like, I am now in real estate, right? The old Mark's gone. Now I'm real estate Mark. So like, take me through that journey of like, what were some like lessons that you learned, or maybe like for me, like it was just kind of trying to hack time, and then the feedback that I got from people that made me realize, okay. They like James being James, and that's kind of how it came to be. So like, how did that come to be for Mark?
So so like what you're saying, you pass your real estate test, right? Yeah. You're all excited. I passed my real estate test. Yes. I'm gonna go sell, $2 million worth of houses this year. Do you know how hard it is to sell $2 million worth of houses your first year? It's impossible. Maybe somebody's done it, but not very many people. And then you're like, oh, these people are all driving Mercedes, so I'm gonna get a Mercedes. Well, guess what? You just passed your real estate test. You don't have money to buy a Mercedes. You have no money to buy a Mercedes. So I'm driving my Mazda. And at the time, that was fine. Yeah. But I was dressing in a suit. I was, showing up at the office, sitting there in my suit and tie. I had nothing to do because I had no business. But I'm going to sit there at my desk in my suit and tie. I may as well sit there in my suit and tie. At the time, I didn't have money to buy a new suit, so my suit didn't fit. But then I started going out on listing appointments. I started going out with buyers. Yeah. And, I'd meet people. I'd be in a suit, and they would be dressed, comfortably. Yeah. And they just kind of look at me funny.
Like, what are you doing?
And I'd be like, but this is what I'm supposed to wear. This is what real estate agents wear.
Is what is it a question on our exams? Like,
Yeah, right.
Do you have to wear a suit? Yes.
Yes,
always,
yeah, you have to.
even in your sleep. So,
And there's some people that they don't leave their house without being in a suit because that's who they are, though.
correct. Oh yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with being who you are and wearing your suit
Correct.
every day because that's who you are.
Yep.
But when you're not that person,
Yeah.
it comes off on people that you're not that person.
Correct.
You're trying
Yeah.
to act like you're not.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to act like that other person,
Yeah.
and you're not comfortable in your own skin.
Especially I remember like everybody used to make fun of me, like, what is it, oversized suit Wednesday or whatever, and just like, cause I remember my grandma went to Kohl's, and she got me the graduation gift. She got me a suit, but me and my grandma, neither of us knew how a suit's supposed to fit. I'm like, it seems all right, you know, like. It was like 2 sizes too, like the pants fit, the jacket was 2 sizes too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All that, so you're just like, all right.
And but you know, being yourself, obviously, you know, what you wear is your outward appearance, right?
Correct.
But it's also the mindset too. Because, you know, if you start thinking about, you know, what everybody else wants you to be and who they want you to be, you don't come across as genuine. And
Correct.
right, you know, in business and anybody that's an entrepreneur, which is a buzzword now, right? I mean, everybody wants to be the entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, bro.
Because that's, you know, what everything's, you know, it's cool to be that now.
Yeah.
You know, back in 06, 07, 08, it wasn't really that cool to be that.
My grandma literally started crying when I told her that I was going to go into finance, and she's just like, why don't you use your degrees? Why don't you, you know, get a salary job?
Yeah.
You know, like, so like, yeah, so I'm sorry, like, I'm like, I feel like we've been like living this like same life on the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I mean.
But yeah, like, I'm like, Grandma, this is not what I was hoping. This is not the support I was looking for. You know, like you're crying, like no one's gonna buy from you, not in this economy, da da da. So yeah.
And she's probably right the first couple of years, right? I mean, that
it was
economy
it was she was 99% right. There was 1% of people that did actually do business with me.
In like 2011, you're like, man, Grandma, you were right.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's why I was feeling, right?
Yeah.
I was supposed to be an attorney. I was, you know, I went to college, had a law, you know, was going to get my law degree. I was going to go down to Marshall School in Cleveland for law, and you know, got into real estate. Then all of a sudden, a couple of years in real estate, I'm going, man, that law degree sounds really good right now.
Yeah.
But I realized that's not me.
Correct.
You know, if I have to come in and sit in an office every day, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
That's just, I need to be out with people. I need to be in my car, meeting people, talking to people.
Yep.
You know, making my own schedule, whatever it is. Yeah. I'm not that corporate 9-to-5 guy.
Yep.
And I'm never going to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, being yourself. If I was doing that job at 9-to-5, I wouldn't be myself, so I wouldn't succeed at it.
Right.
So you got to find what you yourself likes doing, and then be yourself, and then you can find your way to success.
Yeah, and I think to like, because it was, I was going through the process of getting a job at Progressive before I officially decided to stick with this, which was the right choice for me. But I just remember, like, I'm sure, like when you would. Did you ever go like to a listing and the person wouldn't show up? Like we call it getting porched.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You drive 3 hours again with gas you can't afford, in the suit that doesn't fit, and you know, still like I don't even know what I'm gonna say to these people, but you know, like I got a meeting, you know. But we call it getting porched. You know, you knock on the door, and you know, cars are in the driveway, and then the window's up a little bit, and you can hear them. You know, TV's on. You're like, don't answer it. It's that guy, and you're just like.
Yeah.
I drove 3 hours, but like I remember passing on 271, passing the Progressive buildings, and just so many times, like, why am I not sitting in a cubicle getting a salary? You know, like, why can't I just be normal? Like, why can't I just have a normal life? You know what I mean? Like, so like, is there certain moments like that happen for you? Like, walk us through kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Some times where you had to kind of face the mirror and say, am I, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I faced it. So I faced that, you know, back when the market crashed, right?
Yeah.
I faced that back when I got married.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, how am I going to, you know, the market's doing better, but what happens if it crashes? How am I going to support my kids?
Correct.
How am I going to support my wife?
Yes.
You know, now all of a sudden it's not just me sitting in an apartment by myself.
Yep.
Not caring and eating ramen noodles for dinner. It's, you know, I got a wife, now I got a baby on the way. You know, all of a sudden other people, you know, really count on me, right?
Right.
I mean, you know, I'm sure you felt the same way. I mean, all of a sudden, you know, you have a kid, somebody else counts on you, right?
Man. Completely changes the game, yeah.
But you got to look at yourself and say, would I be happy doing something else? Am I going to be able to succeed doing this other thing? And when your answer is no, makes it a really easy choice.
Yeah.
But once again, that all comes down to being who you are.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to get pushed into a mindset, like I said before, being what everybody else wants you to be.
Correct.
Of turning into somebody else because they want you to be that way.
Yeah.
And could it be better for the time being? Because yeah, you get a salary job and you got this and you got that. For a little while, sure.
Yep.
But if you're not that person, and there's plenty of people that are.
Oh, it's
my dad he worked 47 or 48 years at Lubrizol.
Yeah.
He liked 9 to 5. He knew where he had to be. He knew what he had to do. He knew that was his job.
Yep.
I just could never do that.
Yep.
So, and I don't think I ever could.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And because again, like you said, there's nothing wrong. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that 9 to 5.
No.
And I think that, and I've had someone else, I've had some other people say, that those are kind of those tough conversations with the mirror or with, with your family, with your friends. It's like, are you looking to really, do you want to take the leap into, not having a salary, not having your typical 9 to 5 gig, but there's always a cost, you know what I mean? Because I think back too is like, dude, I didn't see anybody for 5 years, 6 years. I mean, like even I would say year 7 is when Eric and I got married, and that's she was like, I was walking out the door, heading to work. She's like, James, I feel disconnected. Like we need to talk. I'm like, disconnected? I'm like, who unplugged us? What's going on? Plug it back in. But just like for me, like it just kind of like I made a vow to myself 7 years prior. I'm gonna work 10 years to the death. I'm just gonna just work my face off. And if it's awesome, if I built something cool, awesome. I got something cool for life.
Yeah.
If my business sucks, then I have a sucky business. I mean, so like it was always like, well, 10 years and then I'll have a normal life.
Yeah.
But obviously, like you're talking about with like getting married, kids. So like, how do you, again, for people that whether they're getting started or they're like getting married or having family, that's a big thing, man. Like it's like. And I'm just lucky my mom always drove home to me. She's like, no business success is worth family failure. And she just kept beating me over the head. Even before I was dating Erica, she would like beat me over the head. It just kind of, I'm just lucky that she would just like, was like, James, one day this will be the most important thing in your life. So like, I guess how, as you've transitioned as well, like being yourself at work and at home with the changing, life that you have. I mean, like I feel like I tell people like I don't have a 9 to 5 job, but I have a 9 to 5 life, meaning like the kids have to we have to get the kids ready, get them off to daycare, and then I have to somehow get what I used to do all day in that 9 to 5 window to be home for when they get back from daycare. I mean, it's like you're not 9 to 5, but you are very squeezed on time.
No. So another way our life parallels, 7 years from when I started my business, got married to my wife.
All right,
we got another one. But no, from what you're saying was that, I don't know, when you start off in the business and you're so consumed with doing good that you let everything else in your life push away.
Everything goes away,
then it's tough to succeed. It's really tough to then, because first of all, you have nobody to share it with.
Yeah.
Second of all, it's really cool sitting there in your apartment by yourself. And you're, I did good today, but I have nobody to call because
high five,
all my friends are doing other stuff because I've been doing this. But when you talk about transitioning, I went through a really, really tough time learning that transition when we had our first child. I mean, it was a really tough 3-4 months because I kept wanting to work. I wasn't unplugging, taking the time away to be with my kids.
Yeah.
And you have to do that. Now, luckily, I'm to a point in my business now where I'm able to do that a little bit more, where I'm not trying to grind quite as hard.
Right.
Because, we're at a point where a lot of things are on systems and in place.
Correct.
That we
and
can
you
automate some
and,
things. Sure. You're not kind of out there.
People know who the heck you are.
Yeah, you're not out there grinding as much because you don't have to. You still have to, but it's not, 7 hours a day trying to do it.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, you got to take a step back. You have to realize what's important in life. And, building a business and success is great and it's important and it's what pays the bills for your family. But if your kids don't know your name, it doesn't do you any good.
Say it again.
If your kids don't know your name, you're not doing something right.
Yeah.
I don't care how successful you are.
That's powerful, man.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I still remember when my son was very young, probably 3-4 years old, or 3-4 months old. And like he would look at me and he didn't seem like he knew who I was. because I wasn't spending that time with them.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking the time to really connect with them as much as I could have.
Right.
And then with my second, I really tried to do that more.
Yeah.
She still screamed and cried and wanted mommy all the time. Don't get me wrong, that's rough too. But
Mommy's always better.
Mommy's
Mom's
always better. But at the end of the day, you know, I tried to really change my attitude with it. And I mean, I was depressed for a while. Like I didn't know, you know, first of all, why I can't connect with my kids, why my wife and I aren't connecting anymore.
Yeah.
And it was because I was so consumed with everything else.
Right.
So then you have to go back to being yourself, learning who you are again.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's not something you just learn overnight.
Yeah.
It's something that takes a long time to figure out.
Yeah. That's and so like I'm just lucky too with Erica. If I'm working too much or I'm not home, like she always love you, babe. She always lets me know when she's upset. So like Shannon's the same way where it is
No, everybody, all my friends,
we're entrepreneurs, but we have bosses.
Oh yeah, no. All my friends said Shannon's the best thing that ever happened to me because she puts me in my place. You know, she tells me, tells me how it is, tells me what I'm doing wrong, tells me what I'm doing right. Which is fine. I'm happy with that because I need that. You know, you need that grounding, kind of that grounding from somebody. You know, and now I'm getting to watch it with, you know, with her having her own business, getting to watch her.
Which is cool. And then too, we'll have to have her come on and chat
her and
her
business partner would be great.
But no, they're awesome. It's so cool what they're doing.
Yeah, so, I mean they started their dress business, and you know, watching her succeed, seeing what, you know, for when you're doing it yourself, you can't see it from an outside perspective, right? You're only seeing it from yourself. When you're watching somebody else succeed, it's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
fun watching somebody else do that.
Very cool. Very cool, man. Awesome. We got deep here, man. This is I'm telling you, it's the same. So this was like this time last year, because November I was in Boston for a week, and then October I was in Columbus for a week, and like just kind of like it's like I was home every other week for like, you know, a month and a half ish, and I had been traveling throughout the year, and even too when I was like coaching track, like I love coaching cross country. I loved it. But I still remember like getting home from like, you know, I was gone all day Saturday, get home, Erica's asleep, JJ's asleep. It was like just, and I just remember thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm missing it. I'm like, I'm missing it. And then, I remember I came back from Boston was it this time? It was this time last year. And, you know, driving back from the airport. It's nighttime, Erica and him are reading a book. And I run up to the room, JJ, you know, and he didn't even acknowledge me. Yeah. And I was like, what the, you know, and dude, I was like, okay, tomorrow.
Sure, tomorrow's gonna be better. Yeah.
It was like a week that he wanted. It was just kind of like I would, hey JJ, and he would just run to mom, grab her, you know, and so just kind of like, that's like soul crushing. Like just kind of it's so interesting, and that's for anybody. Again, back to your first point is like you have to do something wrong. You know what I mean? Like I'm not giving away the first video completely. You know, like something has to go wrong before you can really know what's the right way to go about it, man. But like, oh my God, dude, that was
Yeah, no, it kills you. It kills you as a parent. And
like, I love you. I'm working for you.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. But you know what? Those times when they're young, you just can't take. You can't get it back. Correct. And that's what, you know, like I said, and I think it was when my wife sat me down and said, you know, it's been 6 months. You've barely spent any time with him. Mm-hmm. Like you're so concentrated on doing this, you're missing out.
Yeah.
And it really hit me hard.
Yeah.
Because I think back now to how much I missed out for, you know, the first 6 months, year, 2 years, because I was trying so hard to do, you know, to build my business that I missed out on all those things. Yeah. And you can't get the time back.
Yeah, that's why there's stuff, because there's stuff that Julia does, and I'm like, why don't I remember JJ doing this? I'm like, oh yeah, because I was not home.
Yeah,
you know? So that's such a journey, man. It's such an experience. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, of course. Man. You guys are getting awesome stuff here. This is amazing. Please don't require your spouse, your partner, to sit you down and have these conversations. Please take this and understand. Yeah, man, that's crazy. So yeah, just being yourself, and I think, you know, I can't remember the book. Was it? Oh gosh, I can't remember the book, but basically said, you know, write your own eulogy. And this is what I did, and that was a big this was like right after the JJ like not acknowledging dad, and just kind of, it was just. I'm like, something's got to change, but just like, I'm like, how do you want to be remembered?
Sure.
What do you want? You're laying in the ground, man, and they're not gonna be like, James and Mark, man, they had $1 bajillion in real estate and finance sale. Like they're not gonna talk about like, oh, the biggest house you ever sold, or like
Sure.
They're gonna talk about who was he as a husband, who was he as a father. And like, so for me, it's just husband, father, friend. I try to like keep things in 3 so I can remember them. But like I was just like, that's all I want to be remembered as a husband, as a father, as a friend, and a good. And it's not perfect by any means.
No, never. It never is.
But no, I think that this is awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
It's getting deep. So anything else to add, brother? This is.
No, just be yourself. When you're not
wherever
yourself.
you go.
Yeah, wherever you go. When
go.
you're not
Wherever
yourself, people are going to realize it, and you're going to end up taking steps backwards.
Yep. And it's it drains you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's way harder to be somebody else than to be yourself.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's so hard because you have to constantly put on that act and that face and that front, and you end up more tired.
I tried to
than
pretend
else.
I knew what I was talking about. It was exhausting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I don't even. The first house I sold in real estate, I don't know how I sold it. I have no idea. I knew nothing about what I was doing. I show up and show him the house, and he goes, "Well, I'll buy this thing." I don't know what to do.
Dude,
That's
just
great.
Run back
cool.
to the office. What do I do?
Basically, yeah. You run back there, get back there right before he did, so I could, do it. But be yourself, man.
Yeah, the first time someone moved like their old retirement plan, they're like, "Yeah, I want to move it to you," and I'm like, "Perfect. I'll just get the paperwork together." I come back, I'm like, "What am I doing? Like, what?"
Yeah, exactly, man.
Where is this paperwork I need? So cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was awesome. So thank you. If you shouldn't check out the first video, also fantastic. But then we're going to bring it home with our third and final finale video. And thank you for being here, and really take what Mark's been sharing to heart, because this is some really good stuff. So until next time, we'll catch you later.